Hello, I was asked to make a guide video for rapid expansion as Malekith, so here we are. This video will be filmed on Legendary Very Hard. I usually play with a mod that is linked in the description, and I'll talk about it more in the video, but right now, for this run, it's going to be modless. It's not nearly as big of a deal as it used to be. I'll explain more later. Let's see, so besides that, everything else is just on the defaults. I haven't changed any settings here. And we are going to pick Malekith, of course, with the Dark Elves. We gain more allegiance points with alliances with Dark Elves, which won't really matter too much. We get diplomatic relations with Dark Elves, which will actually help a lot in terms of confederating. Loyalty +2 for new recruits, sure. Cheaper basic units, actually a strong faction effect that we'll be using especially early game. And then we get control locally, helpful for conquering, construction cost locally decreased, and enemy leadership -8, which is a nice combat bonus. So without further ado, let's get going. So the Dark Elves are obviously a very aggressive race. They have high income, but is sustained through needing to capture slaves from battle. And unlike the Chaos Dwarves, which can have effectively a very self-sustaining economy eventually, the Dark Elves effectively can't realistically get there. They can, however, get to the point where they can they can't have it at optimal capacity, but they can have a pretty decent economy even without slaves eventually once they get enough ports and get control under control and the like. Speaking of which, control under control is going to be a big problem because we are on Legendary, and that does give -8. And supply lines on Legendary and Very Hard are both 4% each, instead of 1% on normal. You may see me switching to Shades in the mid, or maybe early-ish, early mid-game, something like that. Away from Dark Shards and Dread Spears, which will be our early game bread and butter. One of the main reasons for that is because due to the supply line penalties being much harsher on higher difficulties, the 25% discount is less effective long term, but it's definitely still very powerful early game getting things set up. So we're going to talk a little bit about the map here as well. So we obviously start in control of Nagaroth. No, that's the continent. Nagarond is the capital city, that's right. Which is one of the super capitals in the game, which means you don't have to worry about its garrison, and it gets a lot of extra building slots, both of which are very powerful things. So let's go ahead and set up our camera here real fast. If somebody's an ally, I don't care where they're moving. If they're enemies, I only care about seeing their lords move, and if they're neutral and could be enemies, we care about that. Okay. Before we do anything, let's take a look around. We have Nagaroth, we're going to claim there. Our early game opponents, primarily, are going to be the Skaven clan, they're no problem. Grombrindle's over here. And Valky is up here. In theory, you could try to be friends with Valky, but realistically, you want to try to claim all this land. We're going to try to confederate Hargoneth eventually. So, in terms of general expansion planning, we kind of don't really want to go south initially. I know, because there's two main enemies down south. One, Taurix will probably control Clark-Karand or something around here, and they are beastmen. Elithanar will control this area over there. Elithanar and Taurix, as beastmen, share something in common. They have offensive ambush, which means that they have a chance to ambush you when attacking. Normally, you can counter this by moving an encampment stance. Dark Elves do not have encampment stance. Another counter to this is using, a more powerful individual army, so that if it gets ambushed, you can still fight your way out of it, or an army less vulnerable to ambushes. Problem, if we're spamming out Dread Spears and Dark Shards and they have more armies or a higher tier army, that's not going to go well, which again is a reason to switch to Shades earlier. So we basically, and we want Elithanar to be fighting the pirates down there if possible. So basically this whole section, we're going to be ignoring it for a bit, because it's just a mess. We can let Clark-Karand handle this section in the meantime. We're going to worry about Grombrindle, Valkia, and then we're actually going to push east in the Chaos Wastes. It's all green to us. We do have to worry about attrition in the Chaos Wastes itself, but it's all green territory. Ironically, this is actually a slight nerf to Dark Elves, where some of these buildings up in the Norska, they were made into mountains, and mountains are yellow, unpleasant, rather than suitable, which for Malekith, which means it's actually a slight nerf to most Dark Elves. Malice, of course, gets green mountains, even though he's not next to all these mountains over there, which is slightly odd. Our goal is to eventually confederate the other Dark Elves. We can't actually even start with the trade agreement in Malice because he doesn't own any settlements yet. But we can see what kind of other deals we can do at the start. Clark Haran, we will eventually break this, but how much are you willing to offer me for now? You know what? I'm fine with that. I'll take the early game money. I'm not worried about taking you out for a while. Grand is probably going to be killed very quickly, so let's take the money there. We'll again break that later on if we need to. Alright, that looks good. First goal, we want to get these under the rights. The sacrifice to Mathland for Black Arcs is very important. The sacrifice to Cain for more slaves captured, for more money from battles, from faster healing, and Dark Conduit, also very important. We're probably going to do sacrifice to Cain first. Sacrifice to Hakarti, it's nice. Plus 10 winds of power reserve per turn. Helps top off armies' winds of magic. Sacrifice to Authority, plus 8 control, also nice, especially in Legendary. That'll be things we consider. But let's get into some of the action here. Obviously going to stick our Fire Sorceress in there, and we should just be able to auto-resolve these two battles. An important thing to note here is that you can sell slaves for about 3.75 gold per slave. So, if I have a choice here between 105 slaves or 253 gold, I get, what, 380-ish gold from these slaves right here, rather than 253. So I actually gain more money by that, plus I get replenishment. The Dark Elves are brutish, and nasty people. Let's go ahead and take this over. We're going to loot and occupy, because we need to get enslave 3 sets of captives after a battle quickly to unlock the sacrifice to Cain. So, what are we going to do now? Well, we're going to worry about control here, because it's, as you can see, it's going to go to rebellion pretty easily if we don't. So we're going to start upgrading that, and we're going to start upgrading over here. I would like to boost this up to help start building more things, but I don't think we need to. Unfortunately, we don't have the slaves to go on that right now, because we still need to fight another battle. We want to get that replenishment rolling. So what we can do here is we can start grabbing more dark shards. You could win the game, especially on normal, with dark shards and dread spears. And the especially on normal is not a knock at the difficulty, it's a knock at the supply lines. Because as you can see, we're going to recruit another Lord to help out here. Neither of these is really great. I do generally prefer the female Dreadlord, because these require beast units to be good, and we already have a spellcaster. Oh man, Spiteful, that is hard to pass up. That's a really good trait, and Dark's a pretty good. Okay. Maybe this is a bad idea. I'm going to try it. Normally I get the female Dreadlord, but that Spiteful ability. Again, it's plus 3 attack to all units, plus 5% weapon strength to all units. That's very good. But you can see our supply lines now are 4%. And so as soon as we have like 7 armies, which is 24% more upkeep, we've effectively negated that 25% discount. Whereas if we were on normal, we'd still have like a 19% discount. So you can see why on higher difficulties, bonuses like the reduced upkeep tend to matter less, because the supply lines are a lot more brutal. We're going to be gunning for continuous slave supply early, because that 15% casualties captured post-battle, it is not actually plus 15%. It is effectively higher than that. I don't know the actual internal math equation. I do know that I think it's something like saying by default you get 10% of the enemy captives as slaves, and so this makes it like 25% of captives as slaves, which if you can do the math here, going from 10% to 25% is actually 2.5 times as many, not 15% more. So those bonuses that say like plus 20% more slave capture from Sacrifice to Cain, sorry, 25, that is actually a huge bonus. It is much bigger than it looks. For Malekith, one of our first and foremost enemies over here is going to be Grombrindle, and we're going to have to take him out. And one of our strongest tools there is Chillwind. Chillwind is a very effective spell. where it deals 16 damage, 100% armor piercing. It has a cheap cost and a fast cooldown. It is not a spell that you cast and win the game with. It is a spell you keep casting and casting and casting. And you just whittle away at the enemies. The dwarfs do have magic resistance, but Chillwind will still burn through them pretty quickly. In opposition to our Fire Mage, where the Burning Head, it does 20 damage per second instead of 16, but it also is no armor piercing at all, which means against high dwarfs with high armor, it does not do very much. So that's great for dealing with Skaven, and eventually things like Flamestorm have enough armor piercing that they're still highly effective. 35% of 17 is 6, I guess? 6 or 5? One of the two. I guess it'd have to be 6, wouldn't it? Because 10% times 3 would be 5.1. So it'd have to be 6 armor piercing damage per second. Plus, of course, we get the Kindle Flame for 20% fire weakness. So that still does a number against dwarves. Anyway, we've now finished turn 1. Let's keep rolling. We also have another early game threat here, which is a random Beastmen group over here. If we have the opportunity to take them out, we want to take them out stat. Whether we'll have that ability early on, I don't know. It is very random. I also have not played a Malekith campaign on this particular patch. I think it's 5.1 with now the Khorne Fleshhound hero out. So some things may act a little differently than has happened in the past. But the general principle should still stay the same. You know, Southern Naggarond is a mess. Stick to the Chaos Wastes and stuff at the start, because your two biggest enemies down here, there's Taurox and Elithanar. They can ambush you, and you can't do anything about it. You do not want to be fighting them unless you have to. Hey, there we go. There's the Beastman right there.
What is your dark purpose? Searching.
But whether we can actually take them out next turn, I don't know. Outpost available. We are not going to worry about that, and Haggrave does not want to actively trade with us yet, but we'll work on that. Gron's lost all of their stuff to Valkia already. And then next turn we should have... We'll take the Altar of Ultimate Darkness at a minimum. I don't know where these Beastmen are going to go. They often go into underway stance and jump to the upper left, but we'll have to see. Beastmen suck as Dark Elves. Skaven suck as Dark Elves, because again, you cannot avoid their ambush on attack unless you're in a settlement or besieging. Okay, they ran over there. This presents an opportunity. So we are going to attack the ultimate darkness there.
Foul sorceries.
But we're going to declare war on the Beastmen too. I think that's okay to do. We'll move you over here. And now we will declare war on you, and we'll get Malice to join us, just so he likes us a little bit more. Ooh, that is a very Pyrrhic victory, more than I was expecting. So I think, unfortunately, we're going to have to fight this manually, and a big goal of this will be try to kill the Beastmen. Maybe I should have just ignored them this turn. That probably would have been the better idea, but we're here now, so... Getting them out of your hair, because you do not want to leave these Beastmen up here to declare war on you once you've moved all your armies away. They have to be dealt with early. If that auto-resolve wasn't that bad, I honestly may have almost just fought it more there. Yeah, Beastmen and Groundbendel or Valkia. Once you have those down, the world is a bit of your oyster. Yes, you do have to worry about Elithanar and Taurox, but Clark Haran can hold those back for a while. Okay. Where's our reinforcements coming in? The same spot. Okay. Basically at the same time. So let's go ahead and move you over there, because you don't have to be here right now. We can set this up We want to get off some very good volleys here. We don't need to attack right away. We want to actually let them come. We want to let them come out towards us a little bit, I think, so we have more time to kill them as they run away. The less beastmen that survive here, the better. Win all over here. This should be fine. In theory, you should probably have slightly different arrangement, but I just don't care. It's fine. Okay. Now they are manning the towers, so I'm going to go ahead and move the sorcerers down here to tank those shots. Sorcerers can easily tank these tower shots for now. They'll be firing at her because she's the closest, and she's such a small target, she just is not going to realistically care. We'll go ahead and fast forward to save some time. And we want the beastmen to come in, we want them to move forward a bit, then we want to utterly annihilate them and have as few of them escape as possible. Yeah, reducing the amount of beastmen who escape is honestly our biggest priority here. Come on forward, beastmen. I'm actually going to not be firing yet. Okay, let's fire. Got our lord over here. Here's where we start popping out chill winds. It's like 2k damage right there. The dark shards, I want you to focus on their ranged units. And we need to be ready to chase after their fleeing melee units. Chill wind is almost ready again. Another 4,000 damage right there. I'm gonna block off their escape here. Keep firing. They're already fleeing over there. You all turn over there, I guess. These Unger herd are faster than our units. It's part of the problem. But we're going to chase after them with whatever we can.
Hear my words. I will have destruction.
Okay, we're down enough there. Okay, they're effectively wiped out. I probably should have made this guide with just nothing but auto-resolve just to show how that works.
Malekith, no mercy.
Okay, we're definitely going to be sending our... Can you hit those? Can we fire at other stuff?
Malekith. Spreading misery.
He's definitely dead. Alright, let's turn our attention to the Skaven now.
Fear me.
You tank over there.
Attack.
You break down the walls. Our goal is we need to eliminate them to 5% or less of their start, which means 8 units or less here. So as soon as this drops to 8, okay, so now it's just that. If we do that, I think this Beastman threat is gone, which is a huge boost. And we're going to do some I guess it would be bowling pool shots here. We'll cast Chillwind. Will bounce off the wall. No, not so much there because it basically ran its length. But you can do that to help rebound damage. And again, Chillwind in itself is not, you know, it's like, okay, it did a little bit of damage, but you can see Malekith is already up to 16k damage. Yes, it's on Skaven, but... oh, sorry, on Beastmen. 21k damage. Just chewing them up, Chillwind after Chillwind. I think they changed how units dock on the walls in the most recent patch here too, so let's see if we can better shoot at units on the walls. Before, your ranged units would just fire into sections of the wall that were just, the projectiles couldn't pass through it and they would just be completely wasted. It's like, why are you shooting at something you clearly can't hit? Please don't shoot at something not in your line of sight there. Like, let's just mop up at this point. Let's see if we can shoot back here. Let's see if we can shoot at the Skaven Slave Slingers. Hey, there we go. I don't know if you're holding your fire for something here. We got 2 more Chillwinds that we can use. One more. I'll wait for a good one. Good enough. Alright, Malekith has done 37k damage. And we didn't even have that much magic to start with. And we weren't really being picky. Oh no, we're almost out of ammunition. Anyway. Alright, let's take the city. You're not over there. And then get the chariots smashing through over here. Captured that. And they all should break very soon. Come back and charge over here, please. There we go. So 1 Dread Spear at like half health. Everything else fine. Decisive Victory. From a it's Pyrrhic Victory with like losing half the army. Or more. Wait. Well, it's like more. It was like half the army was flashing red, I should say. In retrospect, maybe I should have not gone to war with that beastman then and try to deal with it like next turn or something. That's probably what you might need to do in other cases. And I think I killed that army cleanly, which again, if you're starting off, you might not be able to. But basically the point is, if you ever have an opportunity to kill off that beastman, you should take it. It may be random, because they will go any spot and do anything, but you need them dead. Oh, nice. Yeah, so there goes the beastman.
Supreme sorceress of Grant. Calling the
So that's doing well so far.
true power unleashed, guided by authority.
And then we will keep recruiting Dark Shards, because we'll pick up Dread Spears when we need to. We're going to hit the Sacrifice to Cain here. This gives us a lot of replenishment, which helps like those Dread Spears also heal up. You can see that they'll basically be back at full health next turn. And we have a lot of slaves here. I think this is going to be worth it. So we need to build this. We're not actually going to use it long term. We just need to build it for the Sacrifice to Mathland, and then we'll get rid of it, which is kind of an annoying mechanic, admittedly. Then do we upgrade that? Maybe? It does give us 2 masters to use if we want them. That might prove useful. Okay, that unlocks 2 master capacity in effect. Alright, now Malekith. Let's give you some line breaker points to boost up your basic melee troops, and also improves Dark Shards melee should they need to go into melee. Start picking up Burning Head over here. And again, we're going to go for spells. And we will worry about fixing that up later. Grand is going to be toast very quickly.
What could you possibly have to offer
But if you want to give us money before your inevitable demise, I accept. Okay, but yes. Getting rid of those beastmen early was a big deal. Now we have to see whether... we are doing pretty well in economy. And more spiteful. I guess we can use these lords later on. Spiteful's just a really good trait. Dark Elf unique. I'm gonna grab some Dread Spears with her. The fact that we got that there was helpful. Yeah, it's fine, whatever. Honestly, maybe I'll remove that soon. Maybe I should remove it already. An Undercity's discovered a Nagaron. That's interesting. We're gonna, basically, our goal is, the reason I haven't said that specifically, if Grombrindle shows up here, we'd want to fight his army. But he doesn't seem to do that recently. He did before. So we're gonna go take out the Skaven first, and then go after Grombrindle, see? And what is the Undercity? It is Rat King. But I think that takes a number of turns. It's only 500 gold. I just don't think we even need to worry about getting rid of it, honestly. Malekith is marching down here.
Who seeks me?
I will go ahead. Why not? That should just be destroyed and replaced with money.
Powerful enchantress.
So grab those instead. Grab these. Okay. Damaged building. guess that's worth it. It is giving like 50 gold a turn and more growth and yada yada.
Supreme sorceress of Brock.
And we do get to upgrade this again, which is good, because this gives us a nice discount on building everything else here. You can see we're nearly out of money, but we're doing okay. And we've already invested some of this money into hiring extra lords. So if we don't need to pay it later, we can get their loyalty up now and level them up a bit now, potentially. $255 factions left. We've unlocked the right to the sacrifice to Mathlan, but we still have to wait 3 turns to do that, so we'll go ahead and just destroy this, and then we can focus on building other things. Now, what do we have over here? Not too much.
Forbidden magic. Fell sorcery.
And I guess we're gonna have to force march down here.
Dark magic. Ever
Which does mean we can drop these troops off. You see, her loyalty was still high enough there that it wasn't a big problem. She'll still be at like 5 or 6 loyalty. No, she's still at 6 loyalty. You can't disband them if they're at lower loyalty, at least not without suffering potential grave issues. So in 3 turns we get our first Black Arc. And we have plenty of slaves for that, and again, we don't need that there. We're going to ignore these ogres for the moment, because again, we don't want to get too crazy around Tarax down there. Malekith, therefore, now he recruits Dread Spears. Iron Coast. We'll get money from it. Got Route Marcher. And certainly not as critical as it used to be. Yeah, repairing that's probably worth it. I don't really care about outposts as Dark Elves, because we want... I mean, in theory, we could make one for Malice, but only if he actually builds a good unit recruiting over there. Because the thing is, Dark Elves don't get global recruitment, so getting a selection of units from your, allies' global recruitment doesn't actually mean anything. So, it's not super helpful there. Oh, but we did unlock 2 Masters are available now. Vicious is a good one. So is Tough. Oh, that worked out well. Okay. I no longer really care about that being level 2, but I guess the Dark Starred Shields are better for 5 more gold baseline. So, we'll bring these over. That'll round out Malekith's army for now. Honestly, I'm not super impressed with the Cold Wind Chariots, but I don't know if it's worth replacing them right now either. And I guess they give some punch and flexibility. So we'll have 4 Dread Spears, 2 Bleak Swords, Blackguard of Nagaron, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 Dark Shards, Sorceress, 2 Masters, and we'll eventually add in a Death Hag once we unlock those. Maybe I'll replace the Cold Wind Chariots at that point. It's not that the Cold Wind Chariots are bad, it's just that they also cost nearly 300 gold each. They cost as much as like 2 Dark Shards. Is that necessarily really worth it right now? I don't know. Some cases yes, some cases no. Maybe we'll replace a Bleak Sword instead. Okay. Our last target, I think, for this Skaven down here is over here.
Feel my power. Seeking entertainment.
And you, however, should still be recruiting. But I want you far in. What I don't want the Skaven to be able to do is to walk into Malekith's zone of control and ambush her over there. Because then they'd scatter, and he could chase her down and kill her. So we need to make sure she is behind, safely behind, Malekith's zone of control there.
I kill the cave.
And send the masters over here.
Seeking cruelty.
Okay.
A fool's errand.
We can be building that there. It's money everywhere. 2 turns until Black Ark. Anything else? Sure.
But you
Normally in the past I haven't bothered with the Masters, but I'm going to give them a whirl here. I feel like that may give us some extra punch, especially if we're leaving a lot of Malekith's army as Dread Spears and Dark Shards for longer. Aha, there's Grumbrindle, but where is he? Okay, we're going to have to deal with him, because he could declare war on us and take the Altar of Ultimate Darkness next turn. And then we'll want to push south and just finish taking him out, basically. And no, we're not doing a defensive alliance. And you're going to go back and hide. And that last army is just basically going to go die-die. To use a bit of a technical term. Okay. Close victory, no problem to win.
I've skills to show. This is real military.
And this last army is a master assassin and like 1 clan rat and 2 Skaven slaves or something silly. I can't actually reach them in 1 turn, so I might as well come over here and help. More XP. I'm gonna get rid of that. And we're going to keep building up your army. See, they control no more settlements, so they will be forced to attack. And whatever they attack can easily kill them at this point. And then that should also eliminate their Rat King camp thing over there. Upgrade Howler Cauldra, start moving it to level 2. We have a lot of slaves right now, so the question is what to do with that. I think in Rakdo Gorge I'm going to go ahead and use the Dictat that gives +10 control. Ultimate Darkness. I'm not going to spend anything on that yet, because I don't know if Grumbrindle's going to declare war on me next turn. Temple of Cain's going to have a similar problem where basically we're going to have, if we keep spamming this, each time we spam this, it costs us, what would that be? 750 gold effectively, I think. So that's effectively 150 gold per turn. So is it worth paying an extra 150 gold per turn in order to keep this settlement under control? The answer right now is obviously no. Other times, yes. So you know what, maybe we'll hold off on that for right now. But we will be doing that soon. You can see over here, so we'll gain 2 control from going down, and we'll gain that, but that still means we're on the rate to rebel, that we just have a lot of extra slaves, so I think we're just going to sell these right now. You can do that once a turn. You get 1,500 gold in exchange for 400 slaves, which also means we now get +2 control globally, because we dropped under 2,000. Remember, next turn we will get a Black Ark. Malekith, let's just keep boosting up some of your basic stuff there.
My cruelty knows no limits. A black-hearted rogue.
Give you Route Marcher. Again, Chillwind, very, very solid workhorse. Masters get Conqueror. Okay, so the Skaven will be dead. Grumbrindle may be declaring war on us. And then we're going to have to go deal with him. In the past, sometimes he comes up here immediately. running past. Basically, this is where you'd see him back several turns earlier, near when Immortal Empires came out first. Then, a few patches ago, he would just run south and be fighting the Tomb Kings. Now I'm not 100% sure what he's doing. We need to be able to wipe him out. Circlet of Iron, that's actually an important quest battle. That would give us a big boost versus Grombrindle. And we don't really have anything better to do this turn. So we're gonna fight it.
Dark sorceress.
This will attack the city next turn and then be kicked back. I think it'll probably won't allow this recruitment because the city is under siege. But we'll see. This is a quest battle, I know. Malekith has 4 quest battles. Some of them are easier than others. The Circlet of Iron, you might be saying, why am I not just, doing the auto-resolve all quest battles mod type thing? Well, here's one of the reasons. You see, valiant defeat. The game thinks we're going to lose in this battle. Spoiler alert, we aren't. But some of the other later quest battles, Malekith has 3 quest battles and 1 quest armor, I guess. The Destroyer quest battle, that one you can use the auto-resolve mod on, and it's fine. It's actually a fairly difficult fight and easy to not be prepared for it if you fight it manually. The other one for Supreme Spell Shield is an ambush battle, where you get ambushed. In theory, you could build an army strong enough to win that, but in practice, you probably just want to do that. I did skip the intro there. I've seen it a million times. If you play, feel free to watch it then. Let's just get moving here. This isn't really that difficult of a battle. The game just likes to claim it is. Malekith has gotten on his cold one there, so now he has armor piercing damage. Sorceress does not have a mount yet. Okay. In other circumstances, I'd care enough about forming a better formation. I don't here. Okay, they are moving far enough forward that, okay, we'll go ahead and stop here. We can pop down our Dark Conduit here, which is going to do a good chunk of damage. Then him carry the Dark Shards.
We are ready. Glorious destruction.
Malekith.
Sister of the Dark Hunter.
Again, our poor Fire Sorceress is not very useful here against the armor of Chaos. Now, if she had Piercing Bolts of Burning or Flamestorm, she would be doing much better. Please shoot there, Lord, here. You can shoot there. You shoot here, I guess. They have more army enemies approaching from over there, so we need to be ready for that.
Murder awaits.
Malekith.
What now? Dark shards.
That's a good volley on there, Lord. Ooh, nice. Nice. Okay, so he's gonna go down here.
Rookie. Bloody murder.
So he's broken. Okay, we took out the initial wave, effectively. Yeah, you can go chasing after them, I guess. Alright, let's get ready for the second wave. Again, we can just do a very basic formation. Malekith, go up there and help soften him up first. They have an exalted hero here, I believe, or two. Those two are dangerous. They also have some aspiring champions. Those are the most dangerous things here. Mainly because it's just very hard to hit them with dark shards. The Chaos Warriors, they do have silver shields, but you can overwhelm them with enough dark shards. Doing whatever chip damage we can here.
Carnage awaits! Striking out! Setting forth! Battle ready!
True heir of Aneria. Malekith, I am dead.
Just keep lining up the chill ones here. Let's go poke over here. Try to run him through. The goal is just to distract like these aspiring champions if we can. So we can kill everything else in the meantime.
To destruction!
The aspiring champions get to bypass Malekith's physical resistance. What is looking dangerous over here?
Eager for battle. With pleasure.
Okay, their exalted hero is going to go up against Blackguard of Nagarond. As soon as these guys reach over there, we're going to slap a dark conduit on them. And hopefully these guys can shoot these aspiring champions as they surround the master. Let's pop our dark conduit over there. You can see that our master is losing to that exalted champion. 72 and 50, they're no joke. Well, that is with the 10% stat boost, of course. But they've got to be close to breaking at this point.
Merciless warriors. Ruthless. Friday.
Poor aspiring champions.
Making ground. Dark shards. Eager for battle. Cold-blooded killers. Kill everything.
Yeah, there we go, I think. Yep. See, not a valiant defeat. And the Masters should be at near full health at the start of next turn, because remember they're getting the big replenishment bonus from the sacrifice to Cain. This gives us 5,000 gold, 500 slaves, and 10% casualty replenishment. So it's a big early game economic boost. Again, we get more money from selling the slaves than we do the treasury, plus we get army healing, so we might as well take that. As you can see, the Circlet of Iron, 5 armor, 5% magic drop chance, minus 5 corruption, that's big in the Chaos Wastes. Better power of darkness, and perhaps most importantly, 80% power recharge constantly. That is very good. So this region already is increasing. Okay, so we can just keep marching forward here. So we can do that, and then I think we should start boosting Malekith's personal. We'll worry about upgrading his army line later on when we upgrade to Shades or something. Also, we're going against dwarfs. Let's pick up Piercing Bolts of Burning first. It's probably going to be initially more helpful. Conquer is just such a good skill, and we'll still pick up, like, those. You see they'll be nearly at full health next turn. These Skaven should be dead next turn. We have a lot of money. But we're on our way to Rebellion. So it's going to be 5 turns to grow, but that growth is going to go way down. So I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to give it a growth bonus so it hits level 2 faster. And in 5 turns, I think, because we're losing instability per turn, and it will get a control bonus as slaves go down and as the control gets lower. So what do we do over here? I think I'm going to go ahead and speed this up here, because that allows us to get that rolling and allows us to get the farm rolling. I think that's a better investment than hitting this, because this only gives us 300 slaves for 250 growth. This effectively, we cost 300 slaves, again, I guess, to rush it, but we'll get that growth faster, plus we'll be getting this money faster, so I think that's probably better. And of course, we need to perform our sacrifice to Mathlan, turn 8. You will help defend Nagarond as you grow. We're going to start grabbing some Dread Spears in case Valkia declares war on us. But as you can see, we already have a very good garrison there for this point in the game. Okay, so these Skaven should die next turn. Then we're going to start the war with Grombundle, most likely. Hagrave doesn't quite want a trade agreement, but close to it. And we're going to ignore Karkarand over there. So Grombundle may just go and attack those Skaven. That's actually pretty likely. And since they have no settlements, they won't retreat. So he'll probably just kill the Skaven for us. And we get to help Grombundle. Sure, Grom. I will take a little bit more money. And then now he should be easy for us to attack next turn with our army and a half that we have between Malekith and, I think, Yandis over there was her name, something like that. One of the key to Dark Elf aggression is keeping your Black Arcs near the front line, because you can create a max tier Black Arc can basically spit out an army of Shades, or any one recruit turn unit you want, every 3 turns. So that's gone, so that means we never had to spend the money on that. Yeah, this will give us an extra 35 growth per turn for 2 more turns, plus the other growth for 2 turns. So it's 15 plus 15 is 30 plus 70. So I guess it wasn't actually quite as good as this, thinking about it. Oh well, I guess that was better. We also are getting this money a bit sooner. It's not the end of the world either way. Well, hey, we have elite number of slaves. How about that? Alright, so now we are going to go to war with him. You notice we are not attacking those ogres down there because we want him to have to like go around and deal with those or whatever. So
Greetings, sir.
and then he's going to retreat here.
Dark sorcery.
Then we can move you up here and attack. Woo! That is a very, very Pyrrhic victory. So, I think what we will need to do is we'll leave this on a cliffhanger. Next time we will fight this battle versus Grombundle. I don't expect this to actually be nearly as difficult as it thinks. He doesn't actually have any artillery. The gyrocopters can get shot down by the dark shards. The dread spears can hold the line. And our chariots can run rampant, potentially back with like the quarrelers. They basically just gun down Grombundle, who doesn't have a bunch of defensive buffs yet. And he doesn't really have a bunch of great runic magic yet. So I don't think this will be nearly the problem with things. I think it's mainly valuing the Brimstone guns and the Iron Drakes, but we're going to shut down those Iron Drakes hard. stop them from doing anything. But, and of course we have the Dark Conduit as well to help wipe out the stuff. But if you want to see the results, you'll have to tune in next time. And I will see you then. This grudge will be settled one way or the other.